difficulty. We had to deal with this for a few minutes, but it's fine. Let's continue the event. Right?
Yay.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of ASCEND HSI, thank you for joining us as we celebrate the official grand opening of our new office. Today reflects the growth of our organization, the trust of our clients, and the dedication of our team. We'd like to extend a special welcome to those joining us virtually on Zoom, LinkedIn Live, and YouTube. To officially mark this occasion, we will now proceed with our ribbon-cutting ceremony. I'd like to invite the founder, Mr. Vasantan Ramakrishnan, to join us for this special moment as we officially open the doors to our new headquarters. Here, so that the people on Zoom can see. Yay! Congratulations to the entire ASCEND team for this exciting milestone. At this time, we'd like to invite our guests for a photo opportunity and collect some corporate goodies. So we can come in and sign up. We can come inside now. Aliyah. Come here para makita ko yun.
Thank you. Is this, I mean, we've been operating.
Schedule like for resort for new employees, new team expanding.
Okay, so we can go to the conference room, all of us. All of us can go to
If someone needs to grab waters, guys, please help yourself. After you.
Soon we will be getting ready from this room.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Test. Hello. Test. Test. All right. So I'm hoping that all of us have already settled down. For those joining us online, thank you for the patience as we transition indoors. We'll begin our formal program in just a moment. All right, let's continue. Now, please help us in welcoming ASCEND's founder, Mr. Vasantan Ramakrishnan, as he shares ASCEND's journey from his founding vision to the milestones that brought us here today. So please give a round of applause to Mr. Vasantan Ramakrishnan.
Alright. A big thank you to everyone who attended today. I'm seeing some wonderful family members, friends, some people who have come through on my network and have become close to me, along with all of our team members from India, Nigeria, Pakistan, and all our other offices. Thank you all for coming in virtually and in person. Today's theme that I want to talk about, aside from the opening and all of this what we are celebrating right now, is we're basically making extraordinary opportunities more accessible through people, technology, and purpose. That is the overarching goal of ASCEND and everybody here. So for my first thing, let me talk a little bit about why does ASCEND exist. I want to start by talking about my own immigration journey and my observations that will help explain how we came about. For me, I moved to the US in 2016 August as an international student. And for me, I did not have any network here. I was new. I think that's an experience that a lot of people here sitting in front of me can share as well. You came from a new country, you came from a new culture, you're in a new place, you don't have a lot of friends. We have wonderful friends now, but when I came in, I didn't have a lot of friends, right? And for me at that point in time, my goals were, I had really big goals, right? Like I wanted to be A, B, C, but I did not have a pathway. So it was definitely a difficult journey for me for the next 4 years, leading up to my graduation from Purdue, from engineering, and great school, great network, great work overall. But after my graduation, regardless of where I graduated from, I was brought back into a system that required more than just skill set, that required more than just a degree certificate, that required more than just job experience. It required a level of clarity and access that I, at the time, and a lot of new students actually, this does not just, it doesn't really matter, it's not just international students, right? This is for everyone, anyone who's graduating right now. You're expected to have a certain level of clarity and access that no one really has when you graduate. Of course, for international students, that's an added challenge. There's another layer that comes in with language, with culture, with network. But this is a problem that everybody's facing, right? And for me, at that point in time, although my goals were really big, I had big goals of being an entrepreneur and wanting to start a company and wanting to help a lot of people, my pathway was very limited. In my view, in my purview and what I could actually see in front of my eyes, all I could get at the time, and this is not small, by the way, I'm not saying that what I got was small, but I'm just kind of demonstrating that. What I could have access to was just an internship, right? That's a good start. It's a great start, and of course that's what got me here. But I got my first manufacturing internship at a manufacturing company in Illinois, right? And I was in Indiana at the time, and I started as an intern, and this is not far back, by the way. I'm talking about January of 2020 actually, right? Of course, we have some big surprises coming in because I started in, and then 2 months into my job, I wanted to have a small vacation, right? Going back home, India, I'm from India. And what was supposed to be a 1-month vacation, thanks to COVID, became a 6-month vacation, right? And by the time I had come back, due to circumstances I could not control, I had already lost my job. So I was an international student in the US, heart of COVID, right? Till August of 2020. I don't have any job prospects, I'm just completely stuck. So at that point in time, I still had my dreams, but there was really just no way to access it. So the point that I'm coming again and again to is, a lot of people here come in with a lot of dreams, we have these big goals that we have, But a lot of times, we don't actually have the access or the clarity to get there. And that kind of started, that became the starting point of ASCEND actually, because we started to understand that this particular thing was not only applicable to new international students, it was not only applicable to, say, graduate students or PhD students or even people in the industry for that matter. I began to understand that a lot of people, 10 years in the industry, 15 years in the industry, and some are like senior directors, directors at like really big companies, Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies, that did not have the clarity and access. And that really surprised me, by the way. I thought at that point in time, with all the access and the network you would have all those figured out, but unfortunately not. So that gap was what ASCEND was founded to basically bridge, right? And to talk a little bit about the early beginnings, obviously we started as a 4-person company, because the early founding members was myself and Lestine from ASCEND in the US, and what you're seeing on the screen right now is where we actually started, by the way. The 380 square feet studio apartment that I could barely afford, and this was not far back, by the way. We're talking about May of 2023, right? May and June of 2023 was when we started, but that timeline was around May or June of 2023, which was 3 years back, right? That's where we started. But with that small beginnings, we had long hours, and we had a lot of trust. Our major milestone, I would say, the first major milestone that we had was our team based in India that we had, and we had Mr. Pratibha Prabhakar and Mr. Deepan Prathapan, who were one of our early founding members from the ASCEND Web or ASCEND India office. And with the 4 people in the team at the time, we started ASCEND with a lot of goals, with a lot of big things that we wanted to do, but with a very small team, no access to funding, no capital, nothing. But our goal was to build client trust one at a time. And that was one strategy that I would definitely say, like early entrepreneurs or someone who's thinking about entrepreneurship but is quite not sure where to start, I would always say, start by building trust one client at a time. Let's say you're starting a product, maybe then that will be, start with like one product at a time, right? Do not launch the whole thing, right? Don't do a huge big thing. You can have big goals, but always start small. So for us, at that point in time, the growth came from relationships and referrals rather than aggressive marketing. Even to this day, I don't think I remember us spending more than $200 on ads. I mean, we barely just do them sometimes on LinkedIn, but really 99% of our clients and new relationships come in through just personal referrals and people who have worked with us and people who we know and friends and family. And that's nothing to be ashamed about, by the way. A lot of people think that, oh, you know what, I'm a small company, I'm operating out of my family and friends. No, you actually have a strong foundation. You should be leveraging those foundations to grow yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. And for me, of course, I at this point have to recognize the contributions of our team members, our clients, our partners, their families, and their supporters. And why I say families is because the field that I'm in right now, and we're all sitting in right now, with immigration, it's always about family. And why I say that is because immigration is someone's livelihood. That can decide if someone can live in a country or not. Can they work in this country or not? Can they permanently have a pathway to follow their dream, follow their American dream or not? So it's very important, and it becomes a family thing. That's why I wanted to add in the family there. So for us here, while our leadership operates from the Lafayette office, 2 founding members from India are now in the US, and we have 4 of our primary members here, and about an 8-person team in the Lafayette office that's working here. But our team here primarily is still overseas. We have almost a 100-person team from Nigeria and India. And we have some more members working from Pakistan, Brazil, and a few more countries as well. But primarily, our physical office is out in Nigeria, the one that we opened newly, and then our remote first office in India as well. So these teams are basically the backbone of every single thing that we are doing right now, and it helps support the global organization that we have, and it helps support the global clientele that we have. Today, I'm proud to say that we are serving clients global, worldwide, from about 19 countries at the moment, and that's a proud thing to be able to say when you start with that, right? Like a 380 square feet apartment. So that's very important. And for me, I also want to reinforce that this office opening represents responsibility and not expansion. And that's a point that I want to really stress here, that it is about responsibility. We want to be more accountable for our clients. We want to be more accountable for our team members. We want to be more accountable for the industry, basically. And we're not looking at it as just an expansion. And that's an important point for me to add. So, as we continue to grow, we now understand that our services are needed in a lot of places. Of course, we cannot be everywhere else in the world, but we are anticipating another expansion out in Morocco. You will hear from a wonderful person and my friend, Sami, in a few minutes. He'll also be sharing his perspective. But for now, our headquarters is going to be in Lafayette. We have offices in 2 other countries, and we hope to change more lives as we go. Ecosystem. I can go to the ecosystem.
So all of the people, or just that two?
No, I can just go to the ecosystem now.
What is ecosystem mean?
The next slide, actually.
Next slide. Next. Okay.
All right. I wanted to take a quick few minutes talking about the affiliated organization for ASCEND. Like, I've had this question a lot, but again, I've had I've taken more than 1,300 client calls at this point, right? Prospect calls, client calls. And there's always this question that keeps coming to me, which is, why are there so many different organizations that ASCEND talks about, right? When we run events, we have Laureate Circle. When we have PR and media and representation services, we have Credit. When we talk a lot about our coaching services, we talk about Youth and X. When we talk a lot about our non-profit and humanitarian missions, we talk about ASCEND HSI Advocacy Foundation. When we talk about founders, capital, access, we talk about ASCEND Ventures. But why do we have multiple affiliated organizations, and how do they tie back into what we're doing at ASCEND? Personally speaking, I like to think that our overarching mission to help immigrants globally, help people globally actually, I would say like help people globally, because we hope to also be able to help Americans in the future also move to different countries for settlements, for retirements, and that's an area that we want to work with. So I want to use the word globally, right? I want to help people globally. The overarching mission for ASCEND will be a global migration program where anyone in the world can move anywhere in the world and attain their dream. And that is our overarching mission. So for this one, we understood that this particular mission that we are talking about often requires many specialized tools. So how we've been able to achieve that is by having our core organization, ASCEND HSI, the immigration law firm, ABS, that focuses on strategic legal representation. It helps extraordinary individuals and families navigate complex immigration pathways. Then we have Youth and X, which is a coaching and long-term career development organization that's been helping 300s of people from all fields and all countries, and we help professionals maximize their opportunities beyond immigration approvals. And when we talk about opportunities, what do we mean? We mean career advancement, we mean research grants, we mean advancements in their PhDs or higher degrees or higher jobs, promotions, all of that. And today, and I'm going to be talking about that in a few more minutes actually, at about 11:15 a.m., that this will all be powered by our structured coaching systems and technology from a legal tech firm. Next, I talked about Credit a little bit. Credit is a publication and PR technology company that will be supporting researchers, founders, startups, and professionals with visibility initiatives. It primarily focuses on responsible publishing and thought leadership. And then finally, Laureate Circle, the organization responsible for this event, they are the ones that are helping us host this event, this grand opening. And Laureate Circle is an event management and professional engagement platform that creates educational, networking, and leadership opportunities that bring communities together. And through this, they've been able to do over a dozen events from all around the world, partnering with educational institutions, coaching companies, media companies, and with our own firm as well. And I want to just take a quick minute talking about Setu AI. Setu AI is our newest initiative. It is our legal tech and workflow company. We build software infrastructure that enables organizations to operate more efficiently. Our philosophy with Setu AI is technology should strengthen human relationship and not replace it. Because the moment when people hear the word AI, they're all thinking about job replacement. They're thinking about, oh my God, I'm going to lose my job, I'm going to lose this, I'm going to lose that. And part of that I think is true, definitely there. It is out in the industry that a lot of people are losing jobs to AI. And for a lot of companies, I think that's part of the plan. But for us here, we don't want technology to replace our employees, our humans, our employees. We want technology to strengthen those human relationships. We want technology to help our team members serve our clients better. We want to remove areas where the gear set is actually getting stuck. We want to remove contingency. We want to remove problems. We want to remove stickiness rather, and help us serve clients much better, help serve our partners better, help serve everyone better. And finally, an organization that is very dear to me, ASCEND HSI Advocacy Foundation. So we started ASCEND HSI Advocacy Foundation in 2024 actually, and we've been having limited workshops and work that we've been able to do. But in the end of 2025, we really ramped up our efforts, and with one of our own immigration attorneys, we've been able to put together a non-profit initiative that is dedicated to expanding access to immigration assistance. Although our primary the most common people that we work with are all high-skilled immigrants, researchers, doctors, engineers, Fortune 100 and Fortune 500 executives, we've always understood this. It's not a new realization, but we've always understood that there are a lot of people out there that did not have this access early on, and maybe they've met unfortunate ends, maybe they've had circumstances that put them at a point in life where they're not able to go for these options, right? So we want to support humanitarian efforts, seek to reduce barriers for these underserved communities and deserving individuals with limited resources. More to come on that, but my key message here is every organization serves the exact same mission from a different angle. I feel like one of the biggest investments we've made in pursuing that mission has been technology. I'd like to now share, in a few more minutes, I'd like to share how we are building tools that help us and hopefully many others serve clients more effectively. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Vasant, for a very inspiring walkthrough of ASCEND's journey. It's very motivating to know that in the past 3 years, not only have you built ASCEND to be a 100 plus employee company, but also created branching affiliate companies such as Lorient Circle, ASCEND Advocacy, as well as Credit, the media company. That is very inspiring, and I don't think we will be able to get to that level, but your motivation makes us want to achieve more in life. So thank you for that. All right. So in the next one, please help me welcome Pratibha Prabhahar, our Vice President of Global Operations, to spotlight our in-person team.
Thank you, Steve. And hi, everyone. I'm Pratibha Prabhahar, and it's truly an honor to welcome you everyone for the event today. And we are here to celebrate the opening of a new physical office. When I joined ASCEND, I started as the Director of Operations, and today I serve here as the Vice President of Global Operations. Looking back at our journey here at ASCEND, it's incredible to see how far we have come in such a short time. Our story began with a very small team of just 5 members, 2 in the United States and 3 from India. At that time, we had only 1 attorney, and our primary focus was drafting and filing the immigration petitions. So we were a small team with bigger vision. Today, I am proud to say that our organization has grown to more than 90 talented professionals across different departments. Personally, I moved to the United States just 2 months ago to strengthen our global operations, expand our services, and build stronger team. This new office represents the new chapter of our growth. None of this would have been possible without our founder, our leadership teams, our attorneys, our employees, and most importantly, our clients who trusted us throughout this entire journey. To every team member, thank you for your dedication and belief, and thank you for being part of our ASCEND journey. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Pradeepa, for telling us about your experience and your journey. This is a question I should ask Boss. Boss, do we still have time to make a one-liner introduction to the staff, in-person staff here in the U.S.? Is that possible, or do we not have time anymore?
I think we can have the video on and maybe just have a picture maybe taken on Zoom because they're not able to attend the event.
Okay.
We can have everybody turn on their videos and then we can have a snapshot. And then also maybe it's a good opportunity for us to like open up the stage for someone if they want to share anything.
Yeah, okay. All right. So we'll move on to the global team spotlight. So we want to request the team in Zoom, the team from India and Nigeria who are attending right now, to turn their video on. And we want to recognize you and acknowledge you for being with us today. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to go and help on the Zoom.
Perfect.
While the team is setting up the Zoom and all of that, guys, I know we have a lot of our team members coming in, right, physically here, but a good majority of our team members are coming in via Zoom. So we want to be able to also recognize you. Just for context for you, we have a photographer here. We have an entire production team at this moment. So I think they'd all like to see you. So if you can, maybe at your comfort, turn on your video so that we can all see that you're here, and we'll be taking a little bit of photos and getting you recognized, right? We'll be having some posts made out on social media as well, and I think people would love to see all of you guys. So if you can turn on your video, we'll give you a few minutes, no problem, get settled, and you can turn on your video. We have put a little bit of buffer, so don't worry about that. If you have to take a minute there to just refresh, completely fine. And then you can turn on your video and we'll take a few photos, and then briefly the team will also allow for any of the team members, right? This is not specific to someone because you all are so important to us and you make what we're doing today possible. So we'll give a few minutes for anyone who would also like to share their thoughts and what they're feeling today. Of course, go ahead and put your hand up, not right now, but once all of your videos are turned on. In about 5 minutes, the team will make the announcement and you can put your hand up, giving you an opportunity to just say a few words if you want. Because you're all part of a core team, and I think if you have something to say, I think right now would be a really good time for you to share that. So we'll make an announcement in about 5 minutes for that. Thank you.
We're looking for the restraint.
Oh, it's actually perfect.
Just hold on for a few more minutes.
Okay, diba? Turn your video on.
Ayun. Nasa labas naman ng glass door as well.
Did you guys get that? Another order is coming. Yes. So, yeah, go get your attention. The mail will come at 11:45.
It automatically comes here.
Automatically comes here.
So we have just this photo we can show me the video.
Yeah, just show them. Add the photo. Oh, sorry. I can share it. Yeah.
Nakita niyo? Kasi hindi nakita niya yung kita.
Okay, unmute. Okay, just wanted to make sure. All right, guys, thank you for the individuals and people on Zoom for turning their video on in approximately 3 minutes. 3 minutes, we are all gonna take a picture. We have documentation here in person. So all of the in-person staff and people on Zoom, we will all have our picture taken in 3 minutes. So I hope you guys are ready by then. All right, team, thank you for waiting. Once all of the team members in Zoom are ready, now you can have our video on, and all of the staff here in person can maybe come in front for all of us to take a picture. Okay, so all of the team members in person, all of the in-person staff here for picture taking, and then all of the people in Zoom, video on.
Everyone can. We'll just take a picture, guys. Everyone there.
Sorry, James. You're part of the Anywhere you like. And then I will wait for the photographer. See if you're covering the Zoom. One more. Okay, 1, 2, 3. One more. Sorry. Sorry, Francine. Oh, sorry. 1, 2, 3, smile. All good. Thank you.
It's nice to see some faces from the email.
Oh,
For sure.
All right, guys, thank you for your participation. All right, before we give the stage to our keynote speaker, we actually want to invite our in-person team if they want to according to us and say a few words. Oh, sorry, in Zoom. So anyone in Zoom, we could,
Can you go back to Zoom?
so this is the time that we give an opportunity to some of our team in Zoom to say a few words. If Rashid is here with us, then he can. Who else? Let me see. Sakshi, if you can hear me right now, would you be open to saying a few words? Oh.
Dalia has a hand up.
Okay, Dalia. Thank you, Dalia, for volunteering. Would you like to say a few words? ASCEND, your experience with ASCEND? Yes. Oh, and we would request you to unmute.
Yeah, you can mute it. Yeah. Sometimes the permission is for Dalia.
Yeah.
For Dalia. Left one, right? Left one.
Pinaka-left at there.
Let us know, Dalia, if you can hear us and if you'd like to. Okay, perfect. Yes, we can hear you. Perfect.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can, yeah.
Yes. So we can hear you.
So it is very inspiring to see Master from how he started from a very small team and now opening up Western US. It's really inspiring. It's great. I have been with ASCEND from last 1 month, but it was a great experience being part of this, and I learned a lot. I have met people, though virtually, that they are very sporting, and the team is really, really, truly inspiring. So it was a wonderful journey to learn from Pastor that we youngsters too can, go ahead, go beyond our limits. So yes, it's really good to be a part of this team, and it's inspiring. Yes.
Thank you so much for sharing a few words. We hope to inspire actually the next generation to improve. Oh, okay. I'm seeing perfect. Can you, if you can hear me, it's actually.
Hi everyone, very good morning and good evening from India. So I worked with ASCEND since 7 months and I work as a social media manager. A very important thing to highlight first here is ASCEND team. The whole ASCEND family is so incredible. Like I can't mention only Pastor or Mr. Pam or anyone else. The whole team, the whole ASCEND is like a family and we all work together. And the best part is like the openness ideas what Pastor is looking from all of us is something like unexpected. Like a mentor, a leader who gives us a chance to be open with our ideas, to showcase any idea we have is something that we are seeing here. And yes, I'm really looking forward to be here with this company for years and years and wanting to look ahead to have more offices in other countries. So yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity, Master Anderson, ma'am, and everyone present here.
All right. Thank you so much, Sakshi, for sharing a few words. Actually, I have been working with Sakshi, as she said, 7 months. She's one of our very valuable staff in ASCEND and Laureate Circle. Whenever I get super overwhelmed by the amount of work I have, she comes in and she and the team are ready to help. And for me, that's very valuable and very rare to see in the industry these days. So thank you, Sakshi, thank you, team, thank you, Rashid, and thank you, Laureate Circle, Amrita, for all of the support that you have given, and it's very valuable in this, and we really, really appreciate and give a lot of gratitude to what you're doing. All right, so moving on, I'd like to introduce our first keynote speaker for the day, Dr. Lola Adeyemo. Let me know if I'm pronouncing it right.
Previous.
All right, perfect. Just a few minutes. Right, thank you so much. So, about Dr. Lola, she's the CEO of EQY Mindset, founder of Immigrants Corporate Incorporated, and the host of Thriving in Intersectionality, a leadership podcast exploring identity, belonging, and power in the world of work. Dr. Lola is a keynote speaker, author, and inclusive workplace strategist who helps organizations move from intention to impact. So please help me welcome Dr. Lola in our Zoom call today.
Nice to be here. Thank you for having me. Good morning, afternoon, evening. It's morning where I am, so I literally just woke up. So apologies if you hear some noise here. I am on the west coast US. And you might, I was interrupted by a child at any second. But, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for the work you're doing. I am originally from Nigeria, so I was born and raised, and I came to the US in 2009 on an F1 visa, and it was less than 2 years, and I had to get into the job market, and that experience, I think, was very lonely for me. Just navigating, finding work in a new city, where I come from, where I was raised. I really was surrounded by community. I think I took it for granted that community is everywhere. My dad was the first of 9 kids, my mom first of 5, and so I have four siblings. I grew up surrounded by, if you need something, you walk up to the neighbor. You know, I think a lot of people outside the US are more familiar to like communal living than people here. Here is pretty isolating, and so I think the closest I found when I got into the US into grad school, the closest I found was my roommates. Both of my roommates that I had over the 2 years were Indians, and they would. I just loved the way they welcomed me into the community because I've never met people from outside the country. Well, from that continent, I guess I met people from Africa, and so my community while in grad school came from other international students. We all just migrated together. I didn't care. It didn't matter that we're not from the same country. We had similar experiences. We were all new to this culture. Outside of the school, there was a lot of incidences of, you know, discrimination and assumption, but I found safety and community on the college campus itself and just with other international students. And then I got comfortable, and then it was time to find work. And we all had to disperse again, and it was a whole different experience. Not as welcoming as the experience of coming into grad school. When I was coming into grad school, I processed all my I processed everything online. I, you know, talked to people even from back home. I was able to process my accommodation. The campus had built a community of support for you when you are coming in as an international student. And I love that. I think the power of community is being able to locate what you need when you need it. And for me, that experience of moving from Nigeria, I processed everything myself. But I had an entry point. I had an entry point for school. I had an entry point for my department. I had an entry point for my... Even when I came from Nigeria straight to my campus, I had a campus pickup. There were international students doing shifts, and they came to pick me up at the airport. So even right from the airport, I felt welcome in. And then it was time to look for work. A very different experience. And right from putting out your resume and putting out your application, it's like you're starting afresh all over again. And eventually did get a job. And then even getting the job and working in corporate America, that reminded me of that feeling of coming in again from the beginning. I was in biotech. My master's was in biotechnology, and so I worked in the healthcare industry here in the US. And I think the changes also started working in corporate America when I started connecting with other immigrants and asking questions. Even before school, I had those issues around the questions on what documents do I need. When I'm applying for a job, they start talking about sponsorship, and I had the people to ask the question when I was coming in as a student, but I didn't have that when I was getting into the workplace. And that's, you know, that shaped things for me. In 2019, I started working on my doctorate, and actually I didn't know I was working on a doctorate. I was curious about the question of the immigrant experience in the workplace, so I wanted to do a research around that, and that research interest kind of led me into pursuing a doctorate. It's a long journey from doing a master's in biotech and working in biotech to doing a PhD in organizational leadership. But I really got very interested. I worked in all the companies I worked in when I was in corporate America were huge Fortune 500 companies, and it felt like, you know, immigrant experience was kind of swallowed in. Nobody was really talking about immigrant experience. You know, I was put in a lot of boxes. One of them was the women box, and one of them is the black person box. Those, you know, I didn't understand the black person box because that wasn't even the word I used for myself when I was back home. The women box was a little familiar to me because I come from a country where gender inequity is, you know, was also very prominent. But I didn't see anybody talking about immigrants and how our experiences were so similar and how much we could support each other. I started asking questions, and those questions led me to writing my book, Thriving in Intersectionality: Immigrants, Belonging, and Corporate America. It was a series of interviews with immigrants, women. Actually, I focused on women because for the doctoral research, I needed to narrow it down. But a lot of people that I interviewed, it was the same experience. Yes, we get the job. Now what? And so getting into corporate America, and then navigating corporate America, and then advancing your career professionally became sort of a passion and a thread that connected me to other immigrants. And over the last couple of years, I have had the privilege to launch a non-profit NGO here in the US called Immigrants Incorporated. Very explicit, really as a community space for immigrant professionals who are job searching, who are working in corporate America, but they are underemployed. They are looking for ways to actually use the degree that they have to work. Because again, job searching is one thing. When you're new, when you're coming in, what do you need? Understanding the context, the resume, the cover letter. For new immigrants, how do we support each other? Even getting references, right? We give each other references. So what do you need when you first come in as a professional and you're looking for work? So we want to support that. And then the second part is after you get that job. After you get that job might mean you're working in your dream career, your dream role. For a lot of immigrants, that's not the case. People take whatever they can find, whoever can sponsor you, whatever your resume, you need to pay the bills. So people just start working. Fortunately, a lot of immigrants are underemployed. So now what do we do when we get that job? How do I get the job that I actually want to do? How do I transition? How do I navigate the legal system? Really excited to meet BAS and the work you're doing, because I think that part is always the stressor for me. I am not the expert in navigating the system or what people need and what levels they should be applying for when it comes to documents and legal documents. And that's always a huge question for our members, because I know the F1 route very well because that's my route, but there's a ton of other routes. And usually that's where people miss it, is what do you need to do first, legally, to position yourself for the kind of jobs you want to do. So getting the legal advice, getting all of the documents in place, but then what next? I'm working in this company, I want to switch to that company. What do I need to do? And so we provide the community, we provide the support. We have programs every month with immigrant professionals that are working in corporate America right now. And our goal is to support each other, is to be that career support for each other, right? Referring each other, connecting each other. Because one of the things we also recognize really quickly is that immigrants, a lot of us are not taught to work hard and show our work. We're taught to work hard. And then we pause. Well, in the US, you don't just work hard. Visibility is also important. Connections to the right people is also important. So we're not just teaching content, we're positioning ourselves so that we are our own community. There are lots of immigrants and immigrant professionals that are in corporate America, working hard and keeping their head down, but then giving them a space and an outlet to support other people as advisors, as professionals, and then connecting with international students as well, the full spectrum, because we don't just belong in the space. We've earned this seat, we deserve to be there, but we also need to pull it together. That's my passion, and that's what connected BAS and I and your organization and what you're doing, and I'm excited for the things that is to come for the collaboration.
Thank you so much.
Any questions for me?
So Dr. Lola. Sorry guys, I think can you guys please unmute? Mute. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Lola. She has actually opened the floor to anyone who has questions for her. I give the floor to us.
Okay. Hi, Lola. I hope you can hear me. Yes, so I don't have a question.
Yeah, I see you.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I don't have a question though, but I really would like to thank you for coming to the event and sharing your thoughts here. Like very unfiltered and really talking about.
I wish I could be there in person.
I know, right? I know exactly. I know you're.
I'd love to be, so next time.
Exactly. We will absolutely invite you and hoping to, be in one of your events as well. Really hoping that. And, I think everybody really appreciated your perspective, right? Because you came all the way and, that raw perspective on, difficulties and, making communities and networks. And I think when we look at it today, it's a whole lot easier. But when we get started, everything seems so scary. You don't have anyone and you just feel like the world is spiraling outside of you. I think people really needed to hear that, hey, there are a lot of people who have come out of that, giving them some hope, giving them some assurance that you can come out of it. So really appreciated that perspective, Laura. Thank you so much for that, by the way, and super looking forward to more wonderful things that we can do together. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you. I will put my LinkedIn link in the chat for anyone that wants to connect. Please feel free to do so. Happy to share some more information. Thanks, Bas.
Thank you.
Thank you so much again, once again, Dr. Lola. It's very inspiring for someone in her position to talk about experiences in immigration. What she's saying is true in that if you don't have community in the U.S., it feels very isolating. And just one liner I want to say from my experience, as I'm also an F1 student, when I came to Chicago, it was very isolating. If Vasant was not there, I felt very alone because there was no Filipino community when I started out in Chicago. I had to carve my way and find community where I went. And that's why when me and Vasant, came to Indiana, I was able to find a Filipino community that really quench the thirst of that isolation. So, and actually, is it okay if we acknowledge the students, undergrad students from UIUC, if that's fine? We just give 1 minute to acknowledge. If you guys can please just stand, if that's fine. We really value you guys coming all the way here from Illinois, and we just wanted to give like a few acknowledgments with you before we go to the next part. Thank you. All right. So for our next keynote speaker, we have Sami Othmani. Am I pronouncing that right? All right. All right. So for Sami, he's the founder of Sami Law Firm.
Hello everyone.
Perfect. Right, perfect. So we will give the floor to Mr. Sami Othmani. He's born in Morocco. He's shaped by his experiences in France and now practicing in the U.S. Sami has first-hand insight into challenges and opportunities that come with building a life across borders. So give a warm hand to our next keynote speaker, Sami Othmani.
Hello everyone. My name is Sami Othman. I'm a U.S. immigration attorney. And as you know, as Ms. said, I came from two different backgrounds. I am French and Moroccan. I grew up in Morocco. I grew up in Morocco, but in a French school. So when I was dreaming in French. But during the day, I was speaking in Arabic. So it's two backgrounds, two languages.
Connection.
And with, can you hear me? Complete different cultures, and this is what shaped me, right? And many other things shape, the things that I'm doing now. The fact.
I think it's his
my mom was a doctor. My mom's dream was always for me to be a doctor. I didn't want to do it. I told her I cannot do something 14 years that I don't like, please. And even my dad didn't want me to be a lawyer. I was a lawyer. So, but I was fascinated by that. I always wanted to be one. And this is what brought me to the U.S. where I studied. And same story when I came. I came from, North, Morocco is a North African country. We have African culture, Arab culture, Muslim culture. So we have a strong sense of community. So when I came to the U.S., it was pretty hard for me, but they tell you you're a man, you need, it's okay to be alone, it's okay to feel that, but I felt, it was really hard for me. Fortunately, I found many people from different backgrounds, had a lot of Nigerian friends, Indians friends, Pakistanis, French people, many people. I had my master's as well in USC, University of Southern California, then I took my bar in California, I passed it. I had a small experience. I came back to Morocco to work with my dad, but it was impossible. It's another mentality. I love my dad, he's a great lawyer, but I could not work with him, so I came back to the States. And after a small experience in immigration with some friends, I started, my own practice. It was 4 years ago. And at the beginning, I was focusing more on humanitarian visas, everything touching to asylum, to VAWAs, to U visas. And it was pretty hard because, there were two things. People will call you the whole week. People will call you on a Sunday. People will call you at 2 in the morning, and you have to help, and you have to answer, and all that. And I've always been patient because I think I have that empathy, because I feel those people, and if they call you on a Sunday that they need it, sometimes you need to put some limits, and it's okay because we're talking to people. But it was a great experience. Then I diversified my practice to more of a business immigration, and I really liked it, and it clicked because it merged between two things that I love, which is business and immigration. I love business, I love entrepreneurship, and it doesn't mean that I didn't feel some sense before, but after doing that, talking to founders, talent from all over the world, I felt that work that makes sense. I felt that I'm pushing the word to more value and connecting the dots between the people. And this is what immigration, business immigration, humanitarian immigration is about, because talent is now global. And borders are not blurry right now. They are. And with AI, right now we live in a crazy world where things that you can do in weeks, you can do it in days. But the goal, I think, and this is my vision, and also I think, Lazanta shared the same vision, AI needs to help us to help more people achieving their dreams, help more talent coming to the US or to Australia, to Nigeria, to everywhere, in less time, more efficiently, but with a human side. Because in 100 years, in 200 years, I strongly believe that the people will always feel, need that human bond, They will always want to talk to that attorney, to that consultant, to that paralegal who will be human, You can use AI. I use AI myself, and that's a clash between a lot of lawyers that I know, my colleagues that are against AI 100%, and others who are pro. I am pro AI, and I think it helps a lot, and I think it helps us to be better. But at the same time, I'm also pro-human. So I take my phone, I answer the client myself. The client has my personal phone. He can talk to me on WhatsApp. And unfortunately, sometimes, some people don't have limits, so I need to put them, but it's okay. And this is my life, and I choose that life. So all that to say that, bringing talent from countries that, For example, if I take the example Lola talked about Nigeria, and it's a great example. Morocco, like Nigeria, are growing economies, okay? They have a growing startup ecosystem, right? The talent is huge. The startups coming from those countries are huge. But of course, there is a lack of sometimes, financing. It's Series A, Series B, and, and all that. And, sometimes there is problems. And those people need to express themselves in ecosystems that are efficient. The American ecosystem is an efficient one with all the defaults that we can find on, and connecting those talents to those ecosystems and seeing those people from those countries growing, and this country also, the US, having value on that. And I will take that example of a Moroccan entrepreneur who started with a startup named 4Bio that I helped them raise funds. And this startup helped the food industry, the health industry, thanks to AI, to actually identify bacteria in food or in bodies in hours instead of weeks and months. So that's a game and the life-changing thing for many industries. And now he's in the US, and now Google takes some shares in his company. And this guy comes from like a village in near to Marrakesh in Morocco, like the Atlas Mountains villages. So for me, this is what immigration is about. And the good thing with ASCEND and with the vision of people like of Lola, of Dalia, of Vas, is to do things at scale, okay? And Vas talked about that global mobility, talks about doing that in many countries, talks about doing that with many people, and I believe in that. I believe in that because it's like an army who help those people, and who help that. And when everyone has its own role, and, the attorney needs to do his role, Lola needs to do his role, that's his role, everyone has his role. And at the end of the day, it's the immigrant who will be winning, but also the countries, welcoming those immigrants. We always, I don't know who said that sentence, but behind every and each American company, there is an immigrant who didn't take a no for an answer. And I think everyone here can relate to that. And kudos to everyone, and kudos to you guys. Thank you.
I hope you can hear me. Oh, you're muted, but I hope you can hear me though. Yep. Thank you again so much, Sammy, for sharing that, right? So for me, more than like scripts or anything corporate, we want to really hear from the human, right? And that's what the event is all about. We have some wonderful humans here. We have a lot of wonderful team members at ASCEND who are doing really wonderful work. And we were very conscious on who we wanted to bring to the event, by the way, right? The first time I had a conversation with Lola, right? It was not even that long, right? We've known each other for a very brief amount of time. But just in that first conversation, right, there's something just clicked, right? We have that alignment. And that was the same feeling for me with Sammy as well, right? Sammy found me on TalkNet through a mutual network, and he came into the call. And then when he was talking, right, there was just this certain level of comfort that I personally feel you will not have when you've not had common experiences, right? It just does not come outside of that. And I've had a lot of conversations with other immigration attorneys. I've had a lot of conversations with people in corporate. I've had that, but just that alignment and that comfort, I think that's something that you just cannot manufacture. You will have to have shared, lived experiences, and the other person just understands what you've been through. They know what to say, they know to be there for you. So I had that feeling with both Lola and Sammy, and Sammy has been super warm, and we've been talking, of course, he's been super friendly. We've been talking on WhatsApp, chatting, and we're planning some really exciting stuff that we'll talk about, for sure. But overall, I really appreciate that perspective, by the way, because that's what we wanted in this event. We didn't want like a whole set of, which is why also, like, if you guys noticed in the start, there was a slide about ASCEND statistics and approvals and retainment rates and whatnot. And I decided to just consciously skip that over, by the way, because I did not want to talk about that. That's not what I want the event to be about. I want the event to be about representation for immigrants, because just about everybody sitting here is an immigrant in some form, right? First generation, second generation, third generation, maybe even fourth generation for that matter. I think they still carry that immigrant identity in them, and that is what this event was about. So personally, Sammy, thank you so much for those warm words. I really appreciated that unfiltered, that perspective. Just wanted to, what you worked through, why you're doing what you're doing, and the diverse perspective that we've gotten is wonderful. Actually, really appreciated that. Thank you both to Lola and Sammy for that. Thank you so much, guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Sammy, and thank you, Fasan. So I'm just going to move on to the next part, which is presenting our new CRM. It's a customer relations management tool that we named Sedu. Yeah, Sedu Systems on AWS. I'd like to welcome Mr. Vasantan back so he can give an introduction of ASCEND's new platform.
Just a quick second to set things up here, and I will be with you. I'm going to try my best in doing a screen share, but I know with I think anybody who has a MacBook or a Apple device, I think understands that it's a Herculean task to share your screen. So just give me a moment while I do that. Screen set up already, or?
Yes, we can see.
Alright, so now I'm going to find out. Yeah, I'm hoping everyone can see my screen as well, I believe. People virtually and people here as well, I'm hoping. Alright, so now let me quickly start by talking about why we've named the tool Setu, right? It definitely came from an advisor and friend of ours, Rohit, who I think is not able to make it today, by the way, because he's traveling and unfortunately he's not able to make it. But I will be speaking on his behalf on the naming because I need to put credit where it's due. So Setu in Hindi, right? Hindi is a language in India that's predominantly spoken in the northern parts. Setu in Hindi means bridge, actually, right? So we wanted to be very conscious on kind of how we name our AI system, as a lot of people spoke before, Lola, Sammy, and even myself. Whenever people hear the word AI, right, the next thing they hear is replacement. This time, we wanted to be very conscious, and we wanted the name to write then on there for people to understand that we're not replacing anyone, right? We're not replacing people, we're not replacing systems, but we're actually building a bridge between all these wonderful systems to work in coherence, and we achieve the mission, we achieve the goal. So right off the bat, we wanted people to understand that we're actually building a bridge. In our case, we're building a bridge between immigrants, service providers, immigration law systems, immigration law providers, immigration attorneys, paralegals, and our entire team. So we kind of want to put this out as a collaboration. Even internally speaking, we want to put it out as a collaboration between ASCEND HSI and Setu Systems. So why we have Setu Systems is Setu Systems is actually a part of a family of applications that will go into supporting our many organizations that I spoke about in the start, right? I'm referring to ASCEND HSI, the immigration law firm / ABS. I'm talking about Immigrant X, our coaching organization. I'm talking about Grading, our PR tech company. I'm talking about ASCEND HSI Advocacy Foundation. I'm talking about ASCEND Ventures. So Setu Systems will plug in seamlessly into all these organizations that we're doing. And given that all the organizations go towards one mission to help immigrants, it fits in seamlessly. And I think the definition is also there on the slide as well. You know, the bridge between where ASCEND is today and where we're going, that's more of a personal mission, I think, speaking from ASCEND side. But overall, on the name, like I said, we're building a bridge. And we're taking on more people, we're working with more people, and we hope to make a bridge not only for our firm, but to more immigration law firms, more immigration attorneys out there. We really hope that we can build that bridge for them. So the way I see this is we are one team. We will be moving as one. It will be one platform built around our work. It will be one mission, more clients, more wins. On the scaling part, I think it's quite obvious, right? I mean, we started only about 3 years back, right? We're only 3 years old, and we have started from about 4 people to more than 100 people now. And in terms of metrics, I don't want to really highlight client wins and all of that, but the way that I want to look at that is through our work, we've been able to help 175 immigrant families, right? I want to emphasize the family part here. It's not about just clients or people who are executives or who won, who didn't win. But I'm talking about immigrant families that were changed because of the work we were doing. And in the last 3 years, it's been super proud, and we had Pratibha talk, we had a lot of our team members also share our progress here. We've grown incredibly fast. But one thing for me to really reflect on, right, I mean, it's not from the slides, it's not from like any script or anything like that, but I kind of want to go a little, off the script here, right? With growth comes a lot of problems. With growth comes challenges, because scaling, if you probably see on LinkedIn, you're going to see a lot of entrepreneurs putting in, oh, I started my company 6 months back and we raised $2 million and we're now a $15 million company. And the founders has exited in 1 year, making a couple of millions of dollars. Yes, there are stories like that. I'm not saying no. But a majority of the stories, even in those stories that they talk about on LinkedIn, what they don't speak about is probably the decades of work that they put in, maybe in a corporate job, maybe in a small business, maybe in their own 9-to-5 journey that gave them the experience to get there, right? A lot of times when we talk about our experiences, our business success on LinkedIn, on social media, we don't like to, or we don't prefer to highlight the challenges that we've had that helped us get here. So in our case, with the scaling came a lot of challenges, right? Obviously, scaling a company is not easy, and bringing a company from 4 people to 100 plus within just 3 years of time is super, super difficult. Absolutely, I have to give the credit to the team for making it happen. But to any future entrepreneur, I do want to say this though, that my work and like ASCEND success didn't just come from the 3 years of work, and that's something that I really want to highlight here. So all the networking, all the contacts, all of my philosophy and the foundation that I had for ASCEND and I continue to have came all the way from my failed idea in 2018. And funnily and interestingly, a good part of my team, actually 3 out of the 4 members that I'm talking about in my founding team, actually have been part of about 3 organizations that I've had since 2018, right? And they've sat through all the failures we've gone through, right? And I know we started with the wins and all of that, but I really want to give people the background, and I want people to understand where we are coming from, right? 2018, believe it or not, we actually thought we could start a fashion startup, right? And we could get a storefront and get registered on Amazon and then make a bunch of sales, right? And I was 22 at the time, had literally no business experience, no work experience, with nothing. I put together an informal team that's still sitting with us right now, though, Pratibha and the Deepan, and I have another team member who's also part of ASCEND right now, Ms. Deepika. But if definitely, 6 months of time, we took a bottle Kadif, right? Like no sales, we had a lot of inventory that didn't sell really because we did not know how to do it. We found a storefront location that was so remote that it took us 25 minutes from the main city center to get there, right? But we learned a lot through that. We learned a lot through failing, more than even succeeding. We learned a lot through failing. Actually, we learned that business comes primarily. The main thing that we learned, I would say, is every business exists to solve a problem. A lot of times, new entrepreneurs, what they do is they start thinking about, oh, I have this idea, I want to implement this idea and build a company. But unfortunately, that's not how you want to start it, because that's how I started, and it was a mistake, by the way. In 2018, when we started our fashion startup, we thought, oh, I think we are good in fashion. Let's go ahead and start a fashion startup. Let's start selling, like artisan / handcrafted clothes, right? And ironically, the brand name is also handcrafted, by the way. That's what we wanted, handcrafted with, K with a K, basically, not a C. And because we did not understand our customers, because we did not understand the problems in the industry, we failed within 7 months. And follow back on that, in 2020, this is more of the success from 2018. 2020, I started Feminist Foundation. The organization is a non-profit organization, continues to operate today, more volunteer-driven today, but at its peak, we actually had a 50-member team operating out of India, Netherlands, Dubai, and the US. The US was the last office, of course. And we had tremendous success on the non-profit. And one of the more peculiar things about the non-profit was a good part of the success actually came from the fact that a lot of the members and the community members and even investors and partners, like large non-profit organizations, were quite surprised at a younger person. And at that point, I was still like 23, 24, right? A younger person starting a non-profit organization rather than like a corporate company or a startup or a tech startup. But my understanding after the failure was I don't want to go back into a commercial enterprise and get my hand in there because I don't have capital. What I want to do is start an organization that's more, let's help people, right? I thought about what am I really good at, right? I'm definitely not good in clothing, I'm definitely not good in fashion, but what am I good at? I'm really good at helping people. How about I develop an initiative that simply focuses on one goal, which is help people. And that is how we started Feminist Foundation. And with Feminist Foundation, although we thought like, okay, the help would start by having a blog that we can share our thoughts and we can invite more leaders who can share their thoughts. It kind of evolved in a good way. It kind of evolved into an international non-profit organization that at its peak, like I said, had about 10 awards just for the organization. I was blessed with 10 national awards from India. I actually got 3 honorary doctorates, by the way. One in 23, 24, and then the last one in 2025. Of course, I promised you I was not working for the awards, I was not working for the accolades, but from there, I immediately understood this one very, very important thing, is that I'm super passionate about helping people. I'm not really good at commercializing. I'm not good at, not so much at least, I'm not so good at like making money, but rather I'm good at helping people. And that experience, right, it continues to grow with me today, but that experience drove me to ASCEND, right? I started ASCEND with a very, very simple goal. I want to help immigrants. I want to help people in general. And I like to kind of like, now connect back all the dots here. And why I was talking about the past and all of that stuff is because I was not looking at a problem, because I was not looking at what I'm actually good at. The first business that I started was a failure. But once I understood what I'm actually good at, and which is to actually help people, and when the mission became about solving other people's problems, it immediately became successful with Feminist Pen. And then moving on to ASCEND, within 3 years of time, I was able to scale a system because I understood exactly how the system worked. Because I went through the same problem. I put myself in those shoes, and with the thought of wanting to help people, it just made perfect sense for me to start ASCEND, scale ASCEND in a very short amount of time. And right now, I'm proud to say that I work with a lot of immigration firms and immigration attorneys who have been there from before I was born, by the way. I actually had a conversation a few weeks back with a firm that was started in 1992. I was actually not born then, by the way. And their managing attorney has more number of years of experience than my age, actually. And they're obviously happy to work with us, and they love the technology we're using. They love how we've built the firm. They love how we have scaled it. But definitely that helps a lot. So I guess my key takeaway here, before I even jump into the tool here, my key takeaway is whenever you're wanting to start your own initiative, right? And that can be a company, that can be a career, that can be a doctorate, that can be anything. First of all, understand what you are good at and be honest with yourself. When you ask yourself, okay, what am I good at? Do not kind of like tell you, do not give yourself like a precluded answer, right? Don't bias your mind. Ask yourself honestly, answer that question. You will absolutely get the truth, and that's actually what I did. Now, with that, let me jump with that perspective to the technology. I spoke about Setu AI, what Setu represents, it being the bridge here. So I think now it will make sense for you to say like, okay, why we're growing fast and we're building to grow further, right? Because we understand the process. We personally, and this is for the firm as well as for the attorneys, we want to say yes to more. We want to be able to help more clients, not just take more cases, but help more clients without burning the team out. I think this particular point, I think Sammy really highlighted about the burnout, right? This burnout is really real in this industry. It's very, very difficult. We're doing wonderful work, and I've had clients who get the approval and then they call us, and then the first 5 minutes of that conversation is just them crying. And I'm not saying a single word to them, by the way, they're just crying. And they start with, you changed my family's complete trajectory. My child can go and go to college or do this thanks to you and your team. Right? So we're in a business that's so impactful, it's life-changing, but it comes with a lot of burnout. So that's one of the areas we are really addressing with the tool, with CRMs, with Setu AI, that we want to prevent the team from burning out by automating most of what a lot of human labor is spent on, that can be automated. And that brings me to my second point, which is spending time where it actually matters, right? Of course, everything in the immigration process is important, but chasing status, chasing, documents, chasing, updates, and all of those things are like very small. It's an integral part of the entire journey, but it's a lot of work that can be really automated, right? And the most important point, I think, for even the common audience here, is moving as one team. So I think that's one area where a lot of immigration firms, a lot of companies in general, actually, even biomedical companies, even large companies like Microsoft, Amazon, all of them embrace AI right away. Of course, I know there was some more ill effects as a result of that, but at a higher level, I think everybody wanted to move as one team. They wanted the technology to seamlessly integrate and move as one team. And we go with the same example. So again, where we are today is the hustle that we started 3 years ago that got us here. Obviously won't scale with us, and obviously it's no one's fault, but it's just what fast growth feels like. Setu fixes the friction, not the people. Work is absolutely living everywhere. I think this is a particular thing that not only immigration firms understand, but even accounting firms understand this, non-profit organizations understand this, even students understand this. I think, doctorate students, graduate students, you all have a lot of documents, you have your assignment there in one document, and it's a whole lot of things that's happening right now. Of course, the tool doesn't really link to this, but I'm just letting you know, just as an experience, that fragmented evidences, fragmented documents, fragmented workflow in general is what we are trying to fix here with Setu. And overall, we also wanted to, and this is a very important point, I'll actually talk about why this is important here, with this one connected platform, one source of truth. So what does this one source of truth mean? This is actually a very important point, by the way, that I'm actually coming across a lot on LinkedIn, a lot on, even just our own clients, right? I won't even be going over this slide, by the way, because I feel like this is the perfect slide for me to stop at and talk about this more, because this is the most important thing with Setu. When it comes to immigration, again, hey, there's a lot of cost to access to immigration attorneys. I mean, not in our firm, but in a lot of other firms it is. When I was a student, I didn't have a lot of money, and when I needed my own immigration journey to be set up, it was very difficult for me to understand, how my pathway should look like. I have a problem, how should I solve it, who should I go to, right? So that's a recurring problem, and most students, even me at my age, at that age and at that point in life, the mistakes that I have made came from me just searching things on Google, and back then I don't think there was any Google Gemini AI summaries and all that. We had to go through like manual blogs. We had to talk to a bunch of friends who went through the process, and maybe they did X, they did Y, and then people are following. To this day, even at this AI age, a lot of people who are in an immigration journey in some form, right, in any form for that matter, they could be a green card holder applying for citizenship, they could be a new immigrant, they could be an F1 student, they could be at any point in their journey, right? They could even be an American citizen who wants to move to a different country and they're planning their entire migration. So there's always this fragmented information out there on the internet. You can search and pretty much find anything. Yes, Google can give you in a second, but that one source of truth, which is everything that you're finding actually accurate. And that's a huge issue right now, because I have a lot of clients who come into calls and they talk with their attorneys, they talk with me, and they're talking about their experiences with either other firms, or they're talking about, hey, this is my situation, I looked up on this and this is what I found out and I ended up doing this. And what they may have done is completely not the right move for them, and it might affect them in the long run, right? So that's one of the core problems that we want to solve through technology, which is having one connected platform and that one source of truth, which means immigrants at any stage in their journey, right? Like I said, F1 students, doctorate students, grad students, workers on H1B, L1, or even green card holders who are looking at their citizenship journey. We are going to, and we are planning to have that one source of truth, our platform, that will provide them the information that they need, which is vetted by proper immigration attorneys, and the information and the facts that they're getting is accurate. And we want to obviously also make sure that we have clear ownership and full audit. And what does that mean? So when you go out and search on Google, let's say for example, Google summaries usually just take, basically blogs, they parse through like YouTube, they parse through like different sources and gives you a summary. But Google they put a disclaimer on the bottom, right? They're saying, hey, you know what, AI can make mistakes. Do not obviously trust AI. Go and consult an immigration attorney, or go and consult an accountant, or go and consult anyone, right? A professional in the field. Now, we are not saying that our technology will replace that accountant or replace that immigration attorney or replace that expert, but rather we will want to have that ownership by embedding our system into the advice that these people would have, and it's substantiated facts that we fact check and we audit every single information that the tool is giving out. So of course the tool is still under development, and I didn't want to do a demo. We had a whole demo plan and all that, but I didn't want to go that way. I still want to talk more about the human aspects here. But with our tool though, people will be able to communicate with the chatbot, not the traditional chatbot that just gives them random information, but a chatbot that actually is audited and it gives proper information and it's fact checked, and there is a proper audit team that looks at what facts it's giving out, and people get proper information that is true and accurate. So again, like I said, I had initially planned for a tool demo, but I don't want to do the demo here actually, because we have people from all backgrounds here, and I don't want the the presentation to be about the tool and the demo and the technical features here. I want everyone to really enjoy the event and feel connected to everybody who spoke earlier. Our guest speakers, our team members who spoke, the folks from the audience circle who organized the event, and me and everyone that is here. So let's keep let's wrap that event at that level of human connection. But I really do hope that people were able to understand what we as a team put together for Setu and why we want to do Setu. And with that, I'm going to wrap up right here. I really appreciate everyone coming here. I especially appreciate the folks from Illinois who were able to make it all the way. It's an hour and a half drive. I know our AI advisor had to drive from 6 hours. I know a few of our clients actually had also driven from very far from St. Louis. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. I know some of our team members have also driven 30 minutes, 40 minutes. I really appreciate that. And we also have some family members also who traveled from 5-6 hours away, actually, Ohio again. So I really appreciate that as well. And finally, I would like to thank Lestine, Sakshi, and Amrita, and everyone else from the LC's team. I know a big team put this together. Rashid, a big team put this together. Rashid is traveling right now. I know that's why he's not able to join. But would like to thank all of the team members for putting this together, especially Laureate Circle. And I'm strongly hoping we will be having more and more events coming in, and more collaborations, and more things to come. Really thank you all for coming in, and I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Vasan. I thought that we were going to have a walkthrough, but I like how your approach is wherein we just make it light. We don't have to talk about the technical things. We just need to share what's important, the vision of ASCEND, and your vision that started with wanting to help people out. And we want to be utilizing that's something that we're really good at, and that's what he has done with first his nonprofit organization, Feminist Pen, which I also came in actually before I joined Vasantan in ASCEND HSI. All right. So I think that was all for our program today. We were able to end the program a little bit early, and I will just give the closing remarks, which is thank you everyone for celebrating us in our grand opening event. This is such an important milestone for ASCEND HSI as well as the affiliate companies. And yes, and thank you, for all of the people coming in, people from St. Louis, Illinois, and people who had to drive all the way here in Lafayette just to join us in our celebration. Thank you, Filipino community. Thank you as well, family members, and other people who came in to celebrate with us in this milestone that we have. Right? All right. Please enjoy the refreshments. After this, we just have networking opportunities. You can go and tour the office. Make sure that you're able to pick up a giveaway on the way. So these QR codes that you're seeing on the screen, those are also in our giveaways. So if you are interested to have a complimentary consultation, complimentary strategy, so if you want us to dive into what your case is, how we can help you, we can make you a customized strategy on your pathway for a green card. And if you take in ASCEND services, you also get one media placement. And media placement means that we will have you published in one of our partner media companies, so that this will help you in your profile building process as you go about in your pathway to green card. But yeah, all of those things. Thank you everyone for coming, and the meeting is adjourned.
Very quick post-adjournment for the people here, and unfortunately not for the Zoom folks. Just don't leave yet, guys, because delicious biryani is actually coming. It's just on its way. And we also have some Panda Express that it's on its way as well. So just please hold on. There's delicious food, and you get some refreshment and drinks. We have 6 different types of drinks that I think you guys can enjoy. So please, for the folks here, I think you can really enjoy, have food, let's network, let's talk, let's have fun. For the folks on Zoom, again, thank you guys for coming in, and hopefully, maybe some of your faces that we can see in another event here physically. Thank you so much, everyone.
Can we all have one picture of everyone?
Yes.
So our document at the
If people have not left yet, we're just taking a picture, but it's optional for folks on Zoom to stay, by the way. But it's absolutely okay. We're just going to take a picture with everyone. Yeah.
So how are we gonna do this at the dito ka ba, or you will be in the back?
Anywhere. If it's one by one, I'll take
Do you want to include the Zoom or no?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, so which one would be a better angle?
Do we have enough space to get everyone, or what do you
I think so.
I think we have.
Crunch in, Yeah.
Sige,
Okay.
we'll trust your judgment.
Just moving this out of the way. Everyone picture, guys. Everyone picture. Come on, let's go. Everyone picture. Yeah.
Okay.
Just give me a buzz.
Excuse me.
Laptop is in the way.
Alright, so sa front daw tayo. Sa front daw tayo. Para yung Zoom ma-include.
Oh, ano na raw.
What day?
Oo,
di ba? Siya ba? There's only few of us. Siguro I think you. I forgot. Sa ka-stress ko today, I forgot.
they want a squad.
Yes.
Whichever they prefer.
Everybody can just
Oh. Okay, go.
It's on the way. On the way.
Please.
Actually, some of us can sit down because since the camera is there,
You need to join.
I lost my son.
You don't want to join.
It's fine. So, you know, for the
Right.
Sit in front and you too.
Yeah. Behind them, so that there's some space. Oh, sige, pwede. Isang layer lang. Oo nga. Sige, sige, go. Oh, yeah. Adjust. There we go. Kita ka ba?
Tamil lang ba? Lagi ka Tamil na kaya. Yeah.
Hindi ka siya.
Oh, let us know, ate.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Big smiles. One more. One, 2, 3. Smile.
We have one with Francine and Mariela. Maybe
Huh?
does someone know how to take? Yeah.
Okay, go, ate.
Francine, come on.
Come, Francine.
Sana kaya mo yun. Sana kaya ko yung height ni Iya.
Kaya po.
Ayan.
I'm so sorry.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
One more.
Oh, one more. Sige, go.
Tabing eh. Okay. 1, 2, 3. What?
Ayaw niya, te.
May amo.
Ayaw niya.
Ayaw niya, te. No,
getting it?
no, it keeps adjusting. It doesn't click.
One more. Sorry.
I think you have to do manual, te.
Nga eh. Let's just sorry.
Ayan,
One
perfect.
more.
Yay. Thank you, guys. Were we able to get the appetizers?
Chair set பண்ணிடலாம். Let's set
Were
the
we
chair.
able to get the appetizers?
Can you just move the chairs to these two rooms? Yeah. Guys, who's this? Oh, that's.
Ate Daphne,
I
please,
don't want
and
that. I want you to lose it. Oh no, we're gonna just put it in the next two rooms for the lunch. Yeah. Okay.
Just put
Yep,
thank
okay,
you
sorry.
and then